Hello and welcome back. I came back without a diamond, but I am back. This is the evening edition. I'm Lucy Arish. This is the Daily Debate. The European Council has formed a resolution against male circumcision, a ritual obligation for infant Jews, boys, and a custom among Muslims. Joining me tonight in the studio to discuss this burning issue is Mr. Sam Sokol, the Jewish world correspondent for the Jerusalem Post. Good evening. Thank you very much for coming. And Professor Yona Amitai from Bar-Ilan University and Meuchedet, one of Israel's health funds. Thank you very much. Welcome, gentlemen, to the studio, and thank you for coming. I will start with this. I'm not a mother, but every time that I went to this traditional ceremony, it felt painful for the parents and I believe for the child as well. Professor.
Well, the world experience with circumcision is as ancient as history, and it has been done by huge numbers, even in this generation. So this practice is a part of the life routine, and it has, other than the religious implications, major health implications. There are many studies over the past 10 or 20 years that indicate that this circumcision, whether it's ritual or surgical or medical, or call it as you wish, has a significant effect of prevention of infectious diseases, and also of significant ones such as HIV, AIDS, that are life threatening. So now I think that the evidence for that supports what was done for religious and traditional reasons. Now there is another dimension, the health and significant preventive effect.
So let's try to go back. Why the Jews and Muslims do this ritual? Why do Jews and Muslims do this ceremony?
Well, I'll address the reasons for the ritual in Jewish law. In Judaism, the circumcision at 8 days represents the acceptance of the Abrahamic covenant. You accept God as your God, and God accepts you as part of his people. And it's really a rite of passage that has to be gone through. And it's considered to be something similar, from what I understand, among the Muslim population. It's done, as I said, among Jews at the age of 8 days old. Among Muslims, it's done later, towards the onset of puberty. It's not something that many people in Europe practice outside of the Muslim and Jewish minorities, and it's something that appears to be somewhat alien to the mindset in Europe, hence the debate over its acceptability now.
So
the US has a different experience. Other than 650 million subjects in the world circumcised, mainly Muslims and a few Jews, there are over 100 million Christians, mainly in the United States.
As well, because it is starting to be a ceremony or a surgical operation that Christians are doing as well.
Yes, but when it's done in America, it is mainly motivated by health aspects, and also the American Academy of Pediatrics issued a special declaration a year ago supporting the circumcision from health perspectives.
So we're looking at, yes.
I would just like to add to that the view in Europe seems to be quite different. I was reading over the documentation from the Council of Europe, and some of the things that they wrote in there stood out in my mind as quite interesting. The circumcision, while in America it's accepted as something with medical benefits, while you have the World Health Organization trying to promote the practice, according to the rapporteur for the Parliamentary Assembly of the Council of Europe, it's a threat to physical integrity. And what really caused an uproar, both among Israeli officials, with the foreign ministry and President Perez making a lot of noise, and among European Jewish leaders, is that they juxtaposed in numerous cases in in the documents that they put out, female genital mutilation and circumcision. Now, at the end of the document...
Which is a completely different thing.
No. One is removing a piece of foreskin, and the other is causing grievous bodily harm. But
it's mutilation.
What's interesting here is when the Foreign Ministry and President Perez noted that these two are juxtaposed repeatedly, they responded by saying, well, we mentioned one sentence at the end where we say, no, they're different. But I think what's really gotten the Jewish representatives in Europe that I've spoken with quite angry is, as I said, that juxtaposition, the type of references where they call circumcision the dark side of Judaism, where the rapporteur whose report would form the basis of this call by the Council of Europe, where she says that she believes that in Germany, where a ban on circumcision was overturned last year, they should not have overturned the ban, and they should have made the law that you have to be 14 years old, and then instead of ritual circumciser, only a doctor can do it. And it's these types of statements that have really gotten the goat of the Jewish leaders. The head of the Jewish community in Greece, who I spoke with, Benjamin Albalas, he called it rank anti-Semitism. I spoke with Steve Kramer. He's the head of the Zentralrat der Juden in Deutschland, the Jewish umbrella organization in Germany. He called it insanity. I think it's an issue with the tone. I think that...
Let me add another dimension.
Yes.
There is the Africa dimension. Operation Abraham, led by a group of public health officials in Jerusalem, Dr. Inon Shankar and others also internationally, and supported by WHO. They have trained hundreds of physicians in Africa to do this circumcision for prevention of HIV, for AIDS, and by now in several...
How it's connected?
Because the preputium, I mean the skin fold over there, is harboring potential infections. And that's why removal of it, the foreskin, decreases the likelihood to have infection, even HIV. And in Africa, it has major significance. It is estimated that thousands of Africans owe their life to this procedure due to this circumcision that prevented the potential infection by HIV. So this dimension is important, not so much in Europe, but it is life-saving in Africa.
You know, it's I'm listening to what you're saying, and from what I'm seeing and experiencing here with parents in Israel, is that more and more question marks are brought up when it comes that parents want to decide if to do circumcision or not. How come that the world understands something that in Israel and Jews are starting to question?
You know, discussion among Jews is a part of the culture. And Jews are, even in Israel, open to fresh winds from Europe. And the only question that should be raised is the ethical question. And those in Europe that bring this point out say, let the kid grow up, and when he's 18, let him decide. But so many things we parents do for the sake of the children, immunizations and many other things, starting from the first days and weeks and months of life. Should we wait till the kid is 18 to ask him, do you want to get immunization? I mean, certain things are acceptable that we parents, now we talk about not only from the medical point of view, are responsible for to take care of the kids and to make decisions in their behalf. It is abusing, you know, to let the child get 18 and then the procedure is made much more painful, requires
days to be in the hospital. You have
and anesthesia, and it's very different than the one
doing it when you're a baby,
7 days old. One of the things that the Council of Europe seems to be saying is that if you perform this procedure, you're taking away a child's choice later in life. Now, in the United States, where the majority of Jews are not religious, where they're secular, and they're still getting circumcised, where the intermarriage rate is up around 50%, it does not seem to be circumscribing the later life choices of Jews. Jews are doing whatever they want in whatever context they want in a free
Do you see these
society.
question marks going up and in the Orthodox community, in the religious community?
There is one debate within the religious community regarding a practice called metzitza b'peh, which is an oral suctioning of the blood. It was a Talmudic injunction based on health reasons, saying this is the way to maintain a sanitary milah operation.
This is a relevant discussion, and I personally,
It is a relevant discussion. Yes.
I personally oppose to it, and there is from the halacha point of view, there is an option to suck it by syringe or something like that,
With
which
the
is
pipette, yeah.
sterile, safe, and kosher. And I firmly support this practice, not to do
That's
The Orthodox
becoming,
community accepting this?
is becoming more and more accepted and widespread. There are holdouts within certain diehard communities where they subscribe to a 19th century version of ultra-Orthodoxy, which believes in minimal change. It's a retrenchment. However, among mainstream Orthodox, you'll see any type of suction being done with sterile glass pipettes. It's accepted. What's actually interesting is, while you have the debate over circumcision in Europe, that debate has been mostly abortive in the United States. There was an attempt to have a vote on the issue go on the ballot in California. A local court struck it down, said this is a violation of religious rights, it's unconstitutional, you can't even have a vote on this. However, the issue of metzitza b'peh on oral suction became something of a campaign issue in the New York mayoral elections because of the strong voting power of the ultra-Orthodox voting blocs there. But on the whole, it's less and less of an issue every day.
Is this this ritual, is it something that we think that might disappear in the next few years?
You talk about
Circumcision?
No.
in the Jewish and Muslim community.
You don't see it happen?
I don't see a risk that it will take hold, but in Europe it's a real problem, and it may cause problems to local Jewish communities.
Some of the Jewish leaders who I've spoken to have essentially said, if the practice of circumcision goes away, so do the Jewish communities. The message that the Jews of Europe are getting from this, whether or not this is
Maybe
intended,
even the Muslim communities, because
well,
these two communities
as
are...
well, I think it is possible that this may be aimed more at the Muslim community than at the Jewish community. It's a much larger community. There's a much bigger political debate going on among European Christians regarding Muslims than regarding Jews. But the takeaway that the Jewish communities are getting from this is that they're being told, if we do not have the religious right to set our children upon a certain path, you're using the guise of human rights to take away our religious rights. And this is something, correct or not, accurate or not, I can't get inside the minds of the people making the recommendations here, but this is the impression that the Jews of Europe are getting, and for them it is very scary.
Gentlemen, thank you very much for this, Professor Amitai. Thank you very much for this, and thank you, Mr. Sam Sokol, for this insight on the subject, and which is a very burning debate in the Jewish community and Muslim community. And we're going out for a small break, 10 minutes break, an update from our news desk, and then we're coming back for the i24 News one-on-one. Don't go anywhere, 10 minutes, and I'll be back.